I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, and today we're making a quilt that will be very popular with your furry friends. Today we're working with the Fetch pattern by Itsuema. You can purchase this pattern at Fat Quarter Shop. It is either available as a paper or a PDF, and a link to this pattern is in the description box. To make this quilt, you're going to need 6 fat quarters. 5 of them will be for your bones. 1 will be an accent fabric. 2 yards background, 5/8 yard binding, and 3 1/4 yards backing. We are using the Lucky Collection by Sweetwater for Moda fabrics. So before we start making the quilt, let's talk about our fabrics. We're going to use these 5 fabrics for your bones. You're going to use your remaining fat quarter for your accent. You're going to be pairing up your blue and yellow together and your pink and green together. That's going to be your first step. 2 are going to look like this, and then 2 are going to be opposite. So you will have to look at the cover of the quilt to see how all the fabrics are laid out so everything stays directional. Then your last bone that you make is going to be this clover print, and it's non-directional, so it can go any way you want. After you've gathered your fabrics and your pattern, let's make this quilt. So with the little pea patterns that are made by Itsuema, they're smaller patterns, so they are a lower price, but they still have all the detail. And you can see that each of the fat quarters has a cutting diagram, so you won't make any mistakes when you're cutting. From the 5 fat quarters that we're going to make the bone with, you're going to be making 2 blocks out of each fat quarter. You're going to start with a fabric B and a fabric F. You'll have your dogs facing up, and on the top left, you will put a corner square, stitch directly on that line, trim 1/4 inch away, and this will be your unit. And you can see that your directions are up. Then on the top right and the bottom left, you will add corner squares, and your unit will look like this. So following the pattern, you're going to be making 2 of each, and basically that is going to make all of the fabric in your bone go face up. Now, of course, if you want to do scrappy, you can do that also. And I do love this white on white print that we're using. It's from the collection, and it really brightens up the fabric. We're going to start by making our bone blocks. You're going to take a fabric B square and a fabric F square, and you're going to look at your fabric. It's directional, and we have directional instructions in the pattern. You'll have your dogs facing up. You will make a corner square on the top left. You'll stitch directly on the line, trim 1/4 inch away, and press. And then you're going to take 2 other squares, and you're going to add them to the top right, the bottom left, add your corner square, and you will make this unit. Now this is right here. You're going to make 2 from each fabric. It's directional. You're going to make 2 of these from each fabric, 2 of these from each fabric, and 2 of these from each fabric. Now, of course, if you're not using directional fabric, all you have to do is make 8 of these from each fat quarter, and you won't even have to worry about the direction. But we really wanted your bones to look cute with this Sweetwater fabric, so that's why we wrote the pattern this way. Your next step is to do the center of the bone. That's 2 fabric E rectangles and a fabric A rectangle. Sew them together, press open. Then you will sew these 2 together and these 2 together. Once those are done, you will add those together. And see how nice it looks with all that fabric directional. Here's another fabric with it directional, so you can see how much better it looks when you keep it directional. From each of the 5 fat quarters you're using for the bones, you're going to make 2 each, and you're going to end up with a total of 10 bones. You're going to take 2 different bones, a fabric H, and sew those together. You're going to be making a total of 4 of these, and I'm going to show you in a minute in the quilt how that looks. After you've made your pairs, you're going to have 2 bones left over. You're going to add a fabric I rectangle to the bottom, stitch with a 1/4 inch seam and press, and then you're going to add 2 fabric G rectangles to the left and right. I'm going to show you all of this in the quilt when it's done, but now we're going to use the accent fabrics. Now you have your 8 accent squares that are left over, and what we're going to be doing is either on the top or the bottom adding corner squares. Press and add your second corner square, and this is what they're going to look like. You're going to make 4 that have the corner squares on the top and 4 with the corner squares on the bottom for a total of 8. And of course, if you're using non-directional fabric, you can put the corner squares wherever you want. You're going to assemble all your accent units, making sure the corner squares alternate. Once those are together, you're going to add fabric J to the side and then fabric K strips to the top and bottom. That's going to be your accent row. Once you have your quilt top complete, you're going to add your side borders and then your top and bottom borders. For the binding, we used a brown gingham, and for the backing, we used a nice low volume print, and we made sure when we had it quilted that the dog prints are facing up, just like the bone prints. This quilt finishes 45 inches by 46 inches. If you're looking to make a pet quilt, the Fetch pattern is a must-have. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.